So after watching 52 crosses against Everton, we get to do it all again away to Aston Villa. This is going to be nasty. Welcome to the preview, but we do have some good news. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to the preview for Villa versus Forest. One-time European champions versus two-time European champions. East versus West Midlands. And yeah, we're screwed. We really are. Coming up, I'm going to talk you through all the injury updates. There's some huge news. It's the only thing keeping me going right now is this news. We'll talk you through the predicted lineup. Will he start Taiwo maybe in this game? And get your score predictions in the comments. We're getting battered, guys. Please, while you're down there, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you're new. Don't forget to check out the merch store. I got the Greek Father on. I gotta admit to you, right now, I'm not even happy with the Greek Father, but I'll wear him. Scan the QR code or click on the link that's pinned. All right, let's start with the injury update. And let me lift your spirits because my boy, Aina, he's back. He's finally back. And because we're in January, he can be registered. The registration is open. It will close towards the end of the transfer window. So yes, Aina is back. But I wouldn't start him. Throw this game. Everything has to be focused on the West Ham game. Maybe give him 20 minutes at the end when we're like 6-0 down. Let him kind of stretch his legs out, get a few minutes in the legs and all that. But he needs to be starting for West Ham. Now, you could probably make the argument that he's been fit for a couple of weeks. If he has been, and that's the case, but because he wasn't registered, this is the first game he can play, then fine, chuck him in. But you know what? Even if he's injured and the thought is play Zinchenko or Aina, I'm playing Aina with one leg. I really am. So the good news is, I'll give you what Dyche has said here. He goes, most significant news is the return of Ola Aina. Dyche confirmed that the Nigerian defender is finally available for selection after being unregistered in the first half of the season due to the injury. He has also noted that Aina has a lot of miles on the clock from training and B-team appearances and is ready to go. All right, start him. I love that guy. But if I'm being objective about it, let's not forget Aina's form at the start of the season wasn't his usual form. So, you know what? Screw it. I'm starting him. Anyway, what else did Dyche have to say? Well, on the bad news side of fronts, when he was asked about Chris Wood, he said it would be months, not weeks, with Chris Wood. So that's bad news. So expect to see Forest going into the transfer market for another striker in January. There are links to a couple. We'll do a video after this game at some point and get you guys up to speed. Don't forget, there is a transfer video. I'll leave it on the end screen talking about a certain Willock that might be coming to Forest. He then moaned about the PGLOL again, Man City game. And then he praised Villa and said what a great job Emery is doing there. In terms of the general fitness of the squad, he said is mostly good. There are a few players carrying some minor knocks. He emphasised that the only way to improve their league position is through the hard yards on the training pitch, aka more bleep tests. So probably on New Year's Day, he had them in running some bleep tests and practicing crossing the ball 52 times. So how about Villa? Villa had an 11-game win streak. Fantastic in that win streak. But you know what? For the last 4 or 5 games, I don't think they played that well. They were outperforming their XG and still getting the results. And hey, you know what? I would take that as a Forest fan. But against Arsenal, they did get slapped up. Is that going to knock their confidence, or are they going to come into this game wanting blood? Now, bogey team stadiums. We seem to have gone from bogey teams to bogey stadiums. Aston Villa is a bogey stadium for Forest. I'm genuinely sitting here trying to think of the last time we won there, and I can't. You know what? I'll leave you guys to figure it out. If you do know off the top of your head, impress me. Put it in the comments down below. So we have struggled at Villa Park. So what do we do with the team? Let's go have a look at it. This is the team that started against Everton. This cannot be the team that starts against Aston Villa. I'm going to show you the players that must be dropped for this. Number 1, Zinchenko. Not just drop him, drop kick him back to North London. Number 2, Hudson-Odoi needs to be dropped. I'm just not seeing the form out of him. Number 3, Sells has to come back in for me in goal. If he is fit, I mean, he's been on the bench the last 2 games, so he has to come in. Number 4, I'm going to bring Aina in and put him at left back. I'm going to spice it up. I'll tell you why. I think Nico Williams and Hutchinson were forming a decent relationship on that right-hand side. Now, with that in mind, with Aina being best mates of Hudson-Odoi, is it worth giving that little... No. The other person I want to drop is Gibbs White. I just don't think he's been in form. And you know what? I've been convinced, maybe wrongly by Crypto, but we'll get onto that in a second. Now, what do we do in midfield? Because Douglas Luiz is up against his former club. Douglas Luiz scored for Villa against Forest a couple of seasons ago. Douglas Luiz needs to play for me. I'm going to drop Dominguez and I'm going to bring Douglas Luiz in. However, Douglas Luiz needs to play here in the 8 and Anderson needs to move back in the 6. Why Dyche has changed that after the Spurs game, I have no idea whatsoever. It's one of the most baffling decisions I've seen made. Hutchinson for me definitely starts. Jesus I'm dropping into the 10. I've been convinced he can do that. And then of course Taiwo. You guys think I've gone crazy. I'll put Callum Mwendo up front. On the left hand side, I'm going to go with Bakwa. I saw enough of his little cameo to say, you know what, you can do more than I've seen done by Hudson-Odoi in the last few games. And I kind of think him and Aina will play beautiful football together. And that's the team I go with. I think that works, you know. I think we only lose 2-0 with that team. That's the team I go with. It just bugs me so much. I look at that team on paper and I think that team could compete with a Villa. It could compete with whoever else is in and around those European battles. We have really messed up this season. It has to be said, doesn't it? That's the team I go with. Do you agree with it or not? Let me know in the comments. I kind of gave away what I think the score's going to be. A spoiler alert, I think we lose. But this could be one of those games where we've seen against Liverpool, against Manchester United, against Man City, against Spurs. Those so-called Big Six teams, Villa are now knocking on the door of trying to replace Spurs in them. And I think they should, by the way. Maybe, just maybe, Forest are up for this. When I'm feeling this low with Forest, this is usually when they surprise me with a result. Maybe this time we don't see 52 crosses and we see 53. And that 53rd one would have been the key against Everton and will be the key against Villa. And will be the one that 5'7" or however tall he is, Hudson-Odoi, Callum Mwendo leaps up over the Villa defence, towers up and smashes it home for a what? No. I can't even pretend that's going to happen. I'm saying 2-0 to Villa. And then just focus on West Ham. If we lose to Villa and West Ham beat Wolves, the gap is down to a point. How the hell, after spending 200 million, have we put ourselves in a position where we could be 1 point out of the bottom 3? What the hell has been happening in this club? Get your predictions in the comments. Hopefully you guys are feeling more positive about it than I am. Maybe Aina comes back, produces a worldie, does the cooking celebration. One can dream. Go check out the merch store. Check out the transfer video as well. I'll leave it on the end screen for you. Please hit the like if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed. Get your score predictions in. Come on, you Reds.